My name is Amy Dickinson, and this presentation will be on Stand and Deliver, which is a true life story of Jaime Escalante, a high school math teacher at Garfield High School. Jaime Escalante, in entering the school, realizes that for students to change, they need to change the system, specifically the expectations of the students. He teaches his students calculus in order for them to pass the AP exam and gain college credit. The students that he's teaching in general are either gang members from very poor backgrounds. They're seen as being very uninterested in their education, speaking Spanish or speaking Spanish and English. Most of them speak Spanish and English, but some of them only speak Spanish. They come from Hispanic backgrounds, and we're seen as thinking that they're probably from a first or second generation immigrant families. The disability we see here is one of linguistic and cultural diversity, and by disability we see that that's also something that is taken into account with the teachers that are there. In the film, we see that due to the cultural background, the students' teachers perceive stereotypes about them, that they just have to learn the basics of reading and writing, and teachers don't think they can teach these students more without the community bringing itself up from the poverty that it's in. One teacher specifically calls the students illiterate. Most of the students are bilingual, speaking Spanish and English, or only speaking Spanish. The stereotype presented here is that kids that can't speak English or can't speak English well are unintelligent. They are presented as hoodlums, looking very much like gang members, if they are or not. The English they do speak is a combination of English and Spanish, which gives the impression of unintelligence as shown by the first character to pose a problem to Jaime Escalante. He is the leader of a gang who uses a lot of Spanglish, if you will. This sets us up for seeing Spanglish as denoting a lack of interest in learning or being disrespectful to their teacher. The presentation of these disabilities is not completely negative, though. Obviously, the movie shows that kids who no one thought could succeed academically prove themselves and learn calculus. They pass the advanced placement exam twice, taking it again as they were believed to have cheated to pass the first time due to their social background. In the chapter 1, we talk about social justice and its importance. Here we see Jaime Escalante pushing for social justice and not to have his students not discriminated against, because obviously their test scores are being brought into question because of their background, that they obviously couldn't pass it because they're from this background, and Jaime Escalante does the social justice work to tell them, no, that's not all right. Just because they come from different backgrounds doesn't mean they didn't pass the test or that they didn't cheat on the test. From the differing perspectives on disabilities, we see that these students are judged on all three sets of perspectives. The deficient perspective, because they are seen as just not being capable of learning more. The cultural perspective, because they are judged by their cultural background. Parents and teachers have issue here because culturally, even the families don't think that they need to know more than the basics, and the teachers reflect that level of expectation by not expecting them to know more than the basics either. Sociologically, as Jaime says, the students will rise to the expectation of the people around them. The depiction in this movie is very accurate. People are judged by their language, culture, and skin color, and we see here that no matter where a student comes from, they can succeed anyway. These students succeed despite the low expectations and the rough path in front of them. Jaime Escalante helps them reach this potential by incorporating their culture and understanding that they are bilingual speakers. It defies stereotypes shown in the film. People are treated as a reflection of how they are perceived. So one way to measure and evaluate how they are perceived by society is to analyze how the group is portrayed in literature and on screen in both film and television. This is from page 8 of our literature. It's just going to show that when we look at people in film, like we are in this, it's a good way to analyze how people are perceived in real life, so it's coming from somewhere real. I don't think there's any way that someone could walk away without having a better understanding of culturally and linguistically diverse people from this film. The movie is so incredibly motivating for me as a teacher. I think even for people who aren't teachers, it makes them want to get involved and help change things. It's such a positive message of accomplishment. I watched this movie the first time in middle school, and I remember thinking that I should start taking higher level math. And it's amazing how the film empowers students and hope for all adults. It's one of those films that just makes you want to do your part and get past all those perceptions. I just want to say that this is one of my favorite films, so that's why I picked it, and I think that it, is really inspiring. And so, thank you. This is my presentation on Stand and Deliver. My name is Amy Dickinson. Have a great day.